Very warm welcome to Cornwall Slush'D pitch competition. We have a full schedule this afternoon as well, so thank you for committing to the whole day, which is what I'm assuming you're doing by being here right at the start. So we have 9 startups pitching today. Unfortunately, We Are Humane, who you might have seen in the schedule, aren't able to join us, so just 9 out of the 10 today. And we also have a slight change to the schedule first thing this morning. So for those of you pitching, Fifi, who is meant to be pitching second on the agenda, has had transport issues, as we might expect from Cornwall this morning, so we'll be pitching at the end. So if you're pitching in the first slot today, I might be calling you up earlier than you are expecting, and we will try and find all of the startups that will impact, so that you know. So if you are pitching in the first slot today, you may be pitching 15 minutes earlier, or I will at least try to get you up here earlier. So the format of the pitch competition: 5-minute pitch, 6 minutes of questions, and we have a 1-minute changeover time. I will be strict because that's my job today, and it's really important that we can clearly articulate our startup's concept, our business opportunity in a really short period of time. That elevator pitch and the opportunity to pitch to lots of people is really relevant. From Tech Cornwall, we have a code of conduct that we expect all of our attendees to abide by, so please be kind to people and supportive. It's really nerve-wracking being up on stage here, so please respect the speakers. And for those of you who have put up prizes to support our winners today, to Moral Associates, I think you're in the audience, I've seen a few of you, excellent, hello, who are offering £1,000 worth of legal support and access to a dedicated solicitor to our winner. And Tech Cornwall ourselves, who are offering a free Tech Cornwall membership to our winner. And for the winner, we also offer you 2 tickets to Slush, the main event in Helsinki in November. It's the largest tech conference for startup founders in Europe and the biggest gathering of tech founders and investors. So a really great opportunity to accelerate your business. We're also really happy to welcome today the Department for Business and Trade here as a sponsor, and their representative Tendai. For the first time ever, the UK is officially going to Slush, with a UK house set up at the Grand Hansa Hotel in Helsinki. It brings together creativity and tech for a series of panels for companies and investors, pitching sessions from UK companies, and informal networking to help bolster the UK's tech startup scene. So if you're going to Slush outside of any of the things I've mentioned today, let us know and we can connect you to Department for Business and Trade to be able to connect with them when you get to Helsinki. I forgot to introduce myself, as always. I obviously didn't have that in my script. So I'm Shona. I'm the startup manager here at Tech Cornwall. I'll introduce myself a little bit more later. So for those of you that are familiar with Tech Cornwall, you may be expecting to see Nikki today, who has a 3-week-old baby who may be joining us at lunchtime. So I'm covering her today, and I realise that she's an exceptional host, so I hope I can fill her shoes at least some way. More on that later. But a big welcome to our judges. So today is a pitch competition. We have 3 exceptional judges here today. Nick Eversett, who's a CMO in residence at Canopy Community and the host of tonight's Slush'd demo night. So if you're joining us from 6 till 8, we'll be in screen 2, where we have 7 products and projects being demoed. We have Bethany Campbell, Knowledge Transfer Manager for the Create Growth Programme at Innovate UK, which is focused on developing the creative industries investor community. And Magellan Magloof, co-founder and managing director of Cedar Bridge Capital Partners, which is a private equity firm. So I know the founders will be in very safe hands today with these experienced judges. They'll challenge you kindly, but they will be challenging you. Can I ask that all of the judges and those pitching today stay behind just before we hit lunch at midday to get a photo on stage after the pitch competition? That would be much appreciated. So I am not going to speak any longer because I am exactly on time. I know that I can see our first pitcher ready and waiting in the audience. So I'd like to welcome Michael from Amutri to come up and start us off. I'll be doing a very, very quick handover in between. So if you're pitching today, get ready for your pitch as the last pitch is finishing with their Q&A, and I will call you up. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you very much. Hey everyone, it's great to be here. So I'm Michael, founder and CEO of Amutri, and we've built the fastest 3D visualization platform on the market. So what is 3D visualization? Ultimately, it's a process of turning design files into realistic imagery, video, and interactive presentations. It makes complex projects easy to explore, simple to understand, and compelling to present. And the problem is that 3D visualization is vital, but it's broken. It's manual, complex and slow. It needs specialist skills and costly hardware, and ultimately it doesn't scale. For major projects needing constant visuals, updates and broad distribution, the result is slowed programs, stalled projects and missed opportunities. And so the solution is Imagery, and we're doing to 3D visualization what Canva did to graphic design, making it simple, scalable and accessible. With Imagery, you simply upload a design file, and in minutes you have access to a 3D presentation live directly in the browser. There's no waiting, there's no heavy software, no specialist skills, just instant clarity. And it works so seamlessly, it feels like magic. And we've done this by building pioneering technology that transforms engineering files and design files into interactive 3D presentations, not in weeks or months, but in minutes. So we go from a file like this on the left-hand side into a fully interactive, high-quality 3D presentation available in minutes on any device in any location. So before Imagery, 3D presentation creation looks like this. It was at least 20 steps, riddled with cost, stress, anxiety. And with Imagery, it's just 3 simple steps. You go ahead and upload a design file, you view the 3D presentation, and if you would like to, you can go ahead and share it with stakeholders and colleagues. And so, Imagery is the only solution that makes 3D visualization easy, fast, and scalable, automating everything end-to-end, from creation all the way through to tracking. And so, in doing this, we're unlocking a 13 billion market opportunity. And we're doing this by starting with a 1 billion opportunity in sustainable energy, then expanding into architecture, engineering, construction, lighting, manufacturing, and aerospace, just to name a few industries. With partners, including Amazon Web Services and Epic Games supporting this growth, we're unlocking a 13 billion opportunity and driving a clear path to 95 million in ARR by 2031. And we're doing this by following a proven land and expand model, starting with a small number of teams, then scaling across departments into full enterprise deployments, driving growth and retention. And this is proving true right now, with Rolls-Royce SMR moving from a 100k contracts to a 250k annual contracts, now with successful deployments across the entire organisation. Behind Rolls-Royce, we have Atkins US and GE Vernova, about to sign 250k annual contracts. And behind these companies, we have a sales pipeline that exceeds 1.5 million in active opportunities. And I mean active, really active. They're almost closed. And we have an exit plan. We're going ahead and targeting a 1 billion exit within 5 to 7 years' time by positioning Imagery as a prime acquisition opportunity for leaders in CAD, BIM, and 3D visualization, such as Epic Games, the most likely, Siemens, and Autodesk. And so why, of all the people, are we the best people to do this? Our team has over 20 years' experience each in building 3D-based products, capabilities at companies like Autodesk, Intel, Epic Games, and Red Formula 1 Racing. And right now, we're seeking £250,000 to complete a 500k initial close during Q4. This is the first part of a 2.5 million seed round, with a 2 million VC-backed close targeted for Q1. We have a lead in place for 1.5 million. We have matched investment secured. We've got a 50k grant in place, and the whole round is EIS eligible. And we're offering discounts and valuation caps to early investors. This is to enhance our products with AI and collaboration tools, scale our go-to-market across key industries, strengthen customer success to drive attention, and secure patents to protect our core technology. And that's Imagery. Thank you for listening. Answer the questions.
Make a start, yeah. Thank you, Michael. Very clear and coherent presentation. My question is around the fact that many of the businesses you're working with are enterprise businesses. They often are quite difficult to get in and engage with, particularly for a small company. How are you dealing with that issue?
Yeah, so we're partnering with Amazon Web Services, for example, to sort of drive sales. So we've got channel partnerships in place with Amazon to sort of drive Imagery into Amazon's customers, which is really helpful. We're also working with Epic Games to secure customers through organisations who would like to adopt the Unreal Engine but can't. So then they signpost customers to Imagery. And we're also working with the likes of Innovate UK to drive imagery into clean energy. Innovate UK helps us secure the Rolls-Royce SMR contract, which is much appreciated. And we're also working with our current and potential investors to also make introductions to small modular reactor developers as well. So we've actually used potential investors to make connections with 10 organisations in Europe who develop nuclear power stations, which are now progressing towards contracts as well.
Thank you for, first of all, thank you for explaining that, and well done on how you did it from start to finish. Just one of my questions I have is, well done for securing top clients like Rolls-Royce, et cetera. If you could just give us a glimpse of the sales process to get into Rolls-Royce, mentioning how long it took you, how you got the contact there, what process you had to go through to get approved, and then how you closed the deal.
Yeah, so Rolls-Royce was really our first big customer, and that took a little bit longer, I think, than the rest will take, essentially. So with Rolls-Royce, it was an introduction from Innovate UK, from the head of low-cost nuclear into Rolls-Royce. And then from that point, we commenced a deep dive into their needs, which led into a products pilot, which was 6 months. That pilot was paid. It was £100,000 for a 6-month period, which is a good indicator for contract size eventually, which eventually was 250k annually. So it was a 6-month pilot. It was 3 months before that of ideation, workshops, working out the needs across the organisation, which also really helped us with product developments as well, and validating features. And then we commenced procurement. There's a bit of a process with procurement, of course, with master service agreements, working through security as well at Rolls-Royce. We've overcome a lot of challenges in deploying to Rolls-Royce as a startup deploying a product into Rolls-Royce's IoT environment, which is highly secure, of course, especially when working with nuclear design data. It was pretty much the most complicated thing we could have done, but in doing so, we learned a lot in that process. So after Rolls-Royce, we moved to General Electric Vernova, which 3 months after a first sales call, we've actually got a green light now towards a £250,000 contract. So we've gone from essentially an 8-month process with Rolls-Royce to a 3-month process with General Electric, and I'm sure we'll get into 1.5 months to 1 month with our future customers as well, looking more towards European small modular reactor nuclear power station developers. That's the plan at least. So,
thank you.
No worries.
Great pitch, first of
Thank
all.
you.
I think you did a really good job explaining how your process works and why you're different. Just touching on from those questions, I wanted to understand how you retain your customers once you've got them and what that life cycle process looks like.
So ultimately, I think once Imetri is deployed into a customer organisation, the setup of Imetri takes a couple of months. There's a bit of configuration there which sort of builds currency with the customer. And then beyond that, really, the alternative to using Imetri is to then essentially look to more manual options, which would take weeks and months to create content. So I think once Imetri is deployed into an organisation, it's super sticky because there's no other feasible solution for them to visualise that comes anywhere near the speed and clarity of Imetri. And then beyond that, we're looking to sort of raise investments in this round to really bolster up our customer success teams and support teams so we can get ahead of problems, listen to our customers. The key thing is we would like to appoint account managers for each of our major accounts, listen to those customers, build a feedback loop into the products and make sure that it's delivering value for our current and future customers as well.
Great, thank you.
No worries. Awesome. Cheers.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else you want to add? You have about 30 seconds left.
I think that's all good. If anyone would like to view the pitch, of course, you can use this QR code to go ahead and view it in your own time, or reach out to me at mcalv@imetri.com or visit imetri.com and book a meeting. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Thank you, Michael, for kicking us off. I first saw you pitch, it would have been 4 years ago this month. So it's amazing to see the progress that's been made from one of our Cornwall-based startups here in that time. So I would like to welcome next. I'm going to keep rolling through our schedule because we are exactly on time. So we're going to be moving straight on to what would have been pitch 3, and we have Guy from Charismatic AI.
A hell stone, neat and double quick.
Not now, you blithering idiot. You're due on stage in 5 seconds.
Made it. Thank you. Sorry for being late. Thank you so much. My name is Guy Gadney. I run Charismatic AI, which is focused on AI and entertainment. Very good to meet you today. Our focus is around the entertainment world, around Hollywood. We see that long-form content, traditional media, is in a state of managed decline with revenue dropping over 66% over the last 10 years, 77% drop in advertising spend, and the new genre that we're seeing rising incredibly rapidly at the moment is around microdramas. So what is a microdrama? Well, it's a little bit like I showed you before. It is a very short episode. Generally, they're about 2 minutes per episode, but there are 60 episodes per series. So it's changing the way that we look at Netflix or TV into these very short vertical dramas, as they're called. They have hooks and cliffhangers to drive retention, so you're doing a whole story in 2 minutes. And at the moment, the main genres of this content is fantasy, romance, crime genres, and the market's 35-year-old plus female demographics. Every media company at the moment is building a microdrama strategy. We're talking to all of the people on the slide here who are all building not only AI strategies but microdrama strategies. And there are already to date 309-ish microdrama apps around the world. But market entry for those apps is expensive. If you look at this cost of production per hour for traditional media, it's about $1.5 million per hour. Real Shorts, which is the leader in the microdrama space around the world, they pull it right down to about $300,000 per hour. For us, we can produce microdrama content, this content with our system, the platform that we've built, at 30 to 60K per hour. So we're moving a decimal point. If you were starting up a microdrama company now, you want to compete with Real Shorts, they have over 2,000 episodes around. So if you were working on that model of Real Shorts at 300,000 production per series, to reach catalog parity, to be competitive with them, is going to cost you a $10 million entry. Whereas with Charismatic, which is a system we've built, you tell us your story, the story that you want to create, literally as a one-liner or as a paragraph. We then generate that script, the microdrama script, and then interface out into the generative video models that are on the rise at the moment to be able to get that done at the cost point that I'm putting at. So this is our solution. It's an automated production pipeline with AI. We have been working in AI space for about 15 years now. We've got deep tech teams as well as creative teams on staff. We know this space very well. What we're creating then is the new story, new characters, new script, new storyboard in about 10 minutes. So literally from the idea, and by the way, if you don't believe me, I'll be showing this later outside. So think of an idea for a story now, tell it to me later, and I'll generate it for you after this break. That's about 10 minutes. And then we have a creative workflow. So it's not a black box piece of technology, Charismatic. It is a way for writers and producers to create their story and to provide their own ideas, edit it at every stage of the way. So that then increases the quality and gets away from the sort of AI, standard sort of black box AI content that you see. Great team. There are 12 of us at the moment, myself, John, Annette. We've got Professor Mick Grierson, who set up the Creative Computing Institute, UAL, as one of our advisors, and we're bringing on more in the next month or so. Market, big and growing. So the one you should look at really is, I always think, is the service of addressable one, the smaller number. We're not looking at targeting the Chinese markets, but we know that Hollywood is all in on this. The CAGR is around 24-34% at the moment, depending on which figures you read. And the UK and Europe are sort of following on that. So we're on a rising tide. The opportunity for us is to service, give or take, 350 new microdrama providers. That would generate $17 million, and then potentially as a stretch goal, launch our own platform. It's very easy for us to do that, and we're already in talks with potential distribution partners to achieve that big goal, which we had in further down the track. Quick slide to show that size of the market. This is a slide that shows the Chinese box office market. So that's in dark blue, and the Chinese microdrama market between 2020 and 2024. So in essence, the microdrama market in China has overtaken box office revenues in 4 years, and that model we're seeing playing out in the West as well. Our unit economics cost about 750 pounds per minute to produce, and we can sell for 1,000. So I always think this is the most important slide. It shows you where you can get the profit from compared to other AI studios or traditional TV. Our defensibility is key. Data. Everything that we do is based on data, on usage, on what works, what doesn't, how to improve stories. The story for us is vital. We've worked with Falmouth University with their film and TV unit over the last 2 years to do that. And then building on repeatability. So building that retention of customers to make sure that we're doing we're valuable to our customers on an ongoing basis. So bit of traction to date. We won just over £1 million from Innovate UK. Thank you very much, Innovate UK. Alongside Falmouth University, UAL, Channel 4 and Aardman Animations. That was 2024. That built the platform. Yay. Thank you to Slush'D and Cornwall for being part of today. We're also nominated at the National AI Awards next month. We've done a deal with MediaStream AI, which is a massive set of YouTube channels to provide content for them. And we've produced a paid proof of concept for ITV. Q4 is looking pretty hectic. We are launching formally at Content London, which is the major TV organisation, next month, and at MIPCOM in Cannes next month, and at Broadcast Magazine's AI Creative Summit next month. So our focus is on pre-sales and partnerships right now.
To fit those in. Perfect.
Which
Fabulous.
is now.
Thank you, Guy.
Thank you very much.
Could get a question each in whichever order you feel is best for you.
Yeah, great pitch. Thank you. My question is, how do you deal with hallucinations in your AI process, and has that been an issue for you so far?
I'm going to move to this. Thank you. Yes and no. Hallucinations can be quite creative, and we're in a creativity space. So actually managing those hallucinations is a good thing. That said, we're not just throwing an idea at a large language model. There is a significantly deep tech stack that we have built that manages things. So in other words, if you were to walk into a room in one scene and then you walk into that same room in 2 scenes later, that room should be the same. So that consistency needs to be managed like that, and that's the system we've built. Essentially, it's a balance between programmatic and generative, and there's a lot of programmatic that we manage the storyline for that.
Great, thank you.
Great presentation. Really good handle of the numbers. The size of the market is very important. So well done there. My question wasn't very clear to me if you're B2B or B2C or both, and then if you are both, what split do you see and how do you see that growing?
Yeah, thank you, and I appreciate that comment, which will change. B2B. So the market we're seeing certainly in the first phase for what we're doing is broadcasters, studios, and people starting up microdrama companies which is the growth space and addressing their problem. I did put in that stretch around our own sort of potential launch thing as a B2C play. We've launched apps ourselves before. We know the B2C play, and we are very mindful of how hard that piece is and what the transition might be. My view, very briefly, is if we do go B2C, we'll do it with a partner.
Guy, thank you. Like everyone else, really enjoyed the presentation. Very clear, got a really good handle on what you're trying to do. I'm interested in the AI bit. Obviously, you've got quite a few competitors out there, successful or not. How are you going to ensure that your technology is defensible and that you actually aren't going to be caught up by other people doing other things in AI and you kind of lose your edge?
Yeah, so that's our secret sauce. And that's really what we spent a year with folks like Falmouth University and the UAL building. And it's like as the answer to a great question about hallucination, which you can't just throw everything at an LLM. You have to build up a series of processes that understand the principles of storytelling, of a 3-act structure of tension and pace. And so if we were to look at, say, Google or Amazon or Microsoft coming in, we know because we've been in this space for 10, 15 years, they're not going to do it because their business is so huge, it doesn't make sense for them to do it. So our competitors are likely to come from studios themselves who are seeing what we're doing. But actually, I think we've got enough of a defensibility map and the technology stack that we've built and the skills to be able to defend that from that procedural process already up front. You know, there is a theory that, I mean, if you read LinkedIn, AI is just magic. You press a button, it'll do whatever you want. But that's not true. There is a significant amount of work that needs to be done in this space. And we know the tech stack that we've built and those processes sort of are our secret sauce in that.
Thank you, judges. You have 30 seconds, as Michael did, if you want to add anything.
I do, because I think there's a slide missing, which is what our ask is. So the ask is we are currently at seed phase. We're looking for $500,000 raise, and we are SEIS EIS pre-approved on that basis.
Do you have any committed investors already?
We have a secondary, but we're looking for a lead. Yeah.
Fab, very clear. Thank you very much, Guy.
Thank you.
Now, this is where I start to try and shift the schedule around, so bear with me. Is Joe from Data Harmony, and I know you have someone else with you as well. I can't remember your name, sorry. Luke. Joe and Luke from Data Harmony welcome you for your pitch. So to give you your timings, you start at 10:04, and I will stop you at 10:09 for questions.
Yeah, sorry that we don't have a cool video to start. Mine would have been getting my twin girls ready this morning just for breakfast.
Okay, so hi everybody, I'm Joe and this is Luke, and we're the co-founders of Data Harmony, and we save lives by transforming gene therapy research. In the UK, 1 in 21 people are directly affected by genetic diseases, often inherited from their parents. If we have a crowd of about 200 people here today, that's roughly 10% of the crowd who are directly impacted, and that's to say nothing of families, friends, and support systems. The impact of these diseases is devastating. So, what is gene therapy? Gene therapy is a medical technique that treats or prevents disease by correcting or replacing faulty genes in a person's cells. To use a metaphor, a genetic disease is an error in a blueprint for an architectural design, and gene therapy is a contractor coming in and correcting it afterwards. Now, a lot of people are working on this. In the last decade, over 340 gene therapy clinical trials have failed. Each one can cost up to $5 billion, collectively leading to the loss of a minimum of $300 billion in R&D spend, which is staggering. And the problem is information overload. No one person can keep up with the vast tidal wave of information that's coming at them in this field every single day. It's rapidly growing, and it's just too much. In the last 12 years, over 32,000 publications have been released in this field, which is about 200 a month. Now, I don't know about any of you, but I could not read 200 papers a month just to stay on top of the current theory in my profession. And that's to say nothing of the many tools and support systems I'd also be expected to know. It's complete chaos. There's not enough experts to provide guidance, and there's not one central database that allows anybody to compare tools and compare information and find the right solution for them. So, what is Data Harmony?
Cool, thank you. Well, Data Harmony empowers researchers with the combined knowledge of those 32,000 publications, alongside what we like to call our Swiss Army knife of genomic tooling. Our platform brings to life the ability that is tailored to support every step of a researcher's journey. Leveraging AI, we've been able to analyze those 32,000 publications to help researchers design groundbreaking experiments. Our platform automatically generates both the methodology and material lists, and even sources those materials at the best possible price from multiple vendors. From here, the scientists will carry out their research and send their sample off for sequencing with one of our partners, and then our system will automatically look to generate both their methodology, I've repeated myself, or they'll send their sample off for sequencing with one of our partners. From here, once their sample is ready, we'll automatically generate a load of visualizations, and already carry out a number of those analytical workflows that are so important. What's clear here is we're able to save our researchers both time and money, ensuring they can focus on what matters most, bringing safe, effective drugs faster to market. Let's take a look at our current working MVP, which is already in use at Heidelberg University. As you can clearly see, we are saving them both precious time and analytical resource by improving their analytical outcomes. We've spoken with over 50 researchers to ensure that our platform directly reflects our users' needs.
We have a highly attractive beachhead market of over £60 million in the gene editing research sector, which is made up of academic and industry researchers. We've also carefully mapped out our potential to acquire up to £4 billion of the rapidly growing life science sector as a whole, essentially supporting similar experiments in other research fields. We'll use a tiered business-to-business subscription model for academia, biotech, and pharmaceutical companies. And we'll grow our sales through founder-led outbound before we create more targeted market outreach campaigns to grow long-term. No one is currently tapping into this market. Potential competitors provide more general tools for life science research that either improve the quality of experiments slowly or support rapid experiments with limited outcomes. But gene therapy needs the best of both worlds to ensure patient safety. And that's where we come in. We'll be the first to market this opportunity.
Having met at Cardiff University over 10 years ago, we believe we have the right skills to ensure success, and we're also supported by our amazing advisor, Tobias.
In the last year, we sold to a lab at Heidelberg University in Germany, raising £7,000 with just 2 users. We're now raising £450,000 to scale our platform and to create a sustainable sales engine over the next 15 months to reach $500K in annual recurring revenue.
We are proudly sponsored and supported by the names you can see here, and we would love it if you could join us in our fight against genetic disease. Thank you very much for listening.
Perfect timekeeping. Over to the judges for their questions.
Thank you, guys. I mean, very impressive presentation. Really think what you're doing is amazing. I'm interested in, obviously, you talk about the AI aspect and you're going to be first to market. It's a question I've asked the previous one, which is how defensible is it? How easy is it for someone else to actually come in and do exactly what you've done and piggyback on what you've already achieved?
Cool, yeah, that goes kind of the same way that you were saying with the last pitch, is that the secret sauce is really, as everybody knows, AI is non-deterministic. We've got a bunch of systems. It's basically a gene therapy orchestration layer that allows us to get deterministic results off the back of our AI.
And to jump on that as well, I think beyond just the AI, once we've got a number of users, that becomes kind of our defense to some extent as well. Academic researchers, especially gene therapy researchers, they need to be perfect what they're working with. So if they find something that works, they're not willing to move on very easily. The other thing is that as we've got more users, our background AI, our systems, our algorithms will improve over time as well. So it will just that feedback loop will make our systems better and better at designing those experiments. So eventually it won't be worth it for anyone to try and compete with us. And the big players aren't really interested anyway. They have other things going on.
Thank you for your time. Good presentation, good support partners there. My question is just around sales, because it wasn't very clear to me. I think I heard you did 7K sales to a German university. Is there more sales than that? And is there anything in the pipeline? If that's the case, just want to have a better feel for the traction on sales.
Absolutely, yes. So yeah, that £7,000 was essentially for a 1-year subscription to our platform so far. And what we currently already have is we've got some letters of intent from other people, including other startups, who are keen to use our platform and essentially develop a lot more sales from just that. So the 7K is what we've done for a very basic MVP. Other competitors in the field can charge £20,000 to £30,000 for a setup for up to five people in a team. So we are far below that at the moment in time, but we will work on that in the future and growing that. Yes, we have a couple of letters of intent ready for other people who are keen to work with us so far. We've got a base test at the end of this year with 12 research labs who are keen to work with us. And if that goes well, then they'd also transition into paying customers, which would be a lot more than just £7,000 so far.
Thank you.
Great pitch. Really like the slides. I think you broke down the problem really clearly, which is important. My question would be, I can imagine your users are quite stuck in their ways and their current processes. So how do you plan on acquiring them, and what does that strategy look like at scale?
Sure. They are quite stuck in their ways. So at the moment, we have our CEO, Alex, is a genetic researcher. He's a doctor who's been working in that field for over many years now. So he's got a lot of contacts, which we're initially working for our outbound sales and beta testing. Beyond that, we're planning to attend specific events and conferences that allow us to then reach those people. We'll also develop marketing campaigns. We've been working with CRISPR magazine, or we've kind of already got an idea of what that looks like, which is going to be workshops, it's going to be direct ads, it's going to be particular like, sort of scripts that allow us to reach just the people who work in gene therapy and genetic engineering. It's very targeted. Beyond that, there's a sort of a sense of virility. So in academic space, they will be referencing our platform. So when they submit a paper to Nature or Science or other journals, they will basically say, we've used this platform, it did well, it had these things, and it had these features that we used for X, Y, Z. And that actually then markets us quite well to other academic researchers, because if they want to replicate that experiment to see if it works, they'll need to use our system. If they want to just see how it works, they'll use our system. We have a free access tier for academics only to allow them to basically try it before they buy it, because academics are loath to spend money. They often have to use procurement from university, which can be quite slow sometimes. And also once academics have used it, as they transition into companies, they'll bring us with them, is the plan, which has worked with other competitors like Benchling. They've seen the exact same thing. They provided it free for academics. When they moved into companies and industry, they requested that the company also then pay our license, which is much more expensive than it is in academia. So
we're also tied in. So like it's quite an open market at the moment. So we're tied in that sequencing stage. So once the scientist does their experiment, they send their sample off for sequencing. We're tied in with the next stage, and we've already got those partnerships. So they'll already recommend us for that next stage of experiment.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
We actually have time for one very quick question, if someone wants to ask a second.
I'd like to ask a question, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about where it came from and your background and how you got to this place?
yeah, absolutely. So we met at Cardiff University in doing genetics, biotechnology, and kind of that area. Me and Luke went off to software development, and I went to sort of more regulatory work in pharmaceutical companies. And our CEO, Alex, he stayed in genetics, and we've kind of came back together, well, a couple of years ago, really, for another company in consulting, and then moved on to this because this is more of our passion.
We also found that a lot of academic institutions were asking for a similar sort of product time and time again. So we've just taken that and built a product.
Thank you. You have 30 seconds if you want to add any closing information.
How about this? We have a demo at the Venture Village. If you'd like to come see it actually working in person, we'd love to show it off. We have got something we're quite proud of. It'll be great to show it working for everyone who's interested in more details.
And how many academics do you think will be using it in the next 18 months?
600 if all goes well.
Fabulous.
Five companies.
Thank you, Joe and Luke from
Thank you very much.
Data Harmony.
Cool. Thank you.
I'm very impressed with everyone's timekeeping, actually. So if I have 15 seconds, because I've moved the schedule a tiny bit, is Katie from... Great, you're up next, Katie. And then is Benjamin from Strain Vaults here? Oh, amazing. Would you mind pitching before the break instead of after? Thank you very much. So that's the order we'll be going in, and then we will be having a 20-minute break. So 2 more pitches and sets of Q&A to go for the judges. So next we have Katie Johnson from Casa Tech. Have I said that right? Casa, yeah.
Right, the clicker next. Cool. Right, imagine being one of the 53,000 junior doctors who, during training, must pack up and move up to 10 times. Each move is supposed to help you serve patients better, but instead you're scrambling to find a place to sleep. Today, there are already 150,000 unfilled jobs in the NHS, and by 2030, demand for health and social care staff is expected to triple. But rapid recruitment methods are stepping up to fill the gaps, but they collide head-on with a rental crisis. And when traditional estate agents operate 9 a.m. to 5 p.m, and our key workers finish 12-hour shifts at 8 p.m, the very people keeping our communities healthy end up sleeping in hotels and costly Airbnbs. Over the past decade, I've recruited thousands of healthcare professionals for some of London's largest employers, and I've helped recruit teams to fight Ebola with Save the Children. I've streamlined HR operations and I've led recruitment teams, and I know the stress of finding somewhere to live while trying to focus on doing your best in a demanding job. I've built a successful property business, and Casa Tech is the natural next step, using my experience and network to secure homes for staff. We're building the UK's #1 key worker accommodation platform. CASA will make vacancies more attractive and onboarding smoother for employers by reserving affordable accommodation near workplaces. Our matching process will give the key workers a fair shot at securing accommodation close to their place to work, with 24/7 support and fully automated booking, logistics and communication. Landlords will benefit from lower risks, reduced costs and shorter void periods. A third of all key workers rent, and with around 300,000 new homes needed each year and 250,000 key workers relocating annually, we're addressing a market worth tens of billions. But with a laser focus where demand is most urgent and where our solution will create real value. Our business model is diversified. Employers can choose a branded microsite that plugs directly into their recruitment systems. We'll take a 5% transaction fee on bookings, with landlords paying extra if they want the full management services. But crucially, the platform is free for key workers because they're the heartbeat of our communities. And we've secured early commitments that translate to £2.2 million in year 1 and nearly 10 million by year 3. And these adoption rates reflect demand we're already seeing from landlords. Our niche focus on serving NHS and public sector key workers gives us a unique brand identity. We're building no deposit, rent-to-buy options and easy transfer requests into our roadmap. Competitors like Airbnb, Rightmove and Zoopla simply are not designed for our rotating healthcare staff, but we are. And as a solo founder, I've already housed 160 key workers in one city, and I have more than 70 landlords waiting to use the platform. And we have over 400 units in the pipeline and are in discussions with several care providers and property developers. I bring domain expertise and the track record of building teams. Richard Godfrey, our acting CTO, has led senior technical teams at Microsoft and has built a student housing app for Unite students. And Bob Holt OBE grew Mears Group from a small maintenance firm to over £1 billion as the social housing leader and took it public on the London Stock Exchange. We're also bringing on a chief operating officer with decades of experience in healthcare recruitment and post-fundraise, a seasoned marketing leader. Our first users will be the temporary relocators, rotating healthcare staff and locum recruitment agencies. And on the supply side, we're working with pre-identified landlords and developers near hospitals, and also with housing associations who don't showcase key worker housing stock on mainstream sites. We're raising $260,000 with SEIS and EIS approval to build a trusted brand to continue developing the platform that will be solving a huge challenge in a unique market. I'm looking for introductions to advisors, angel investors and landlords. And if our mission resonates with you, please reach out to me or find me in the Venture Village after this. Thanks for your time and happy to answer any questions.
Perfect timing, Katie. Thank you so much. Over to the judges.
Thanks for that. That was a great pitch.
Thank you.
I just wanted to understand the problem a bit more. Is it a regional issue? Is it only for major cities? And where are you looking to build traction first?
Yeah, so essentially it's a national problem with the major teaching hospitals, I'd say. So they're the ones with the biggest demand. They train more clinical professionals who come to the city either on placements or they do more international recruitment. And so we would target those areas and we target the hospitals that have higher vacancy rates so that we can help them plug the gaps and show some meaningful difference. And I'll be looking to kind of scale where I am in my region. So with the junior doctors in training, they typically rotate around a certain region, so we probably target each kind of regional area as we grow, although the landlords that have shown interest, they're kind of all over. So we may have some odd pilots working with various trusts.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Very clear, good presentation. It's two questions. The first one is, it wasn't very clear to me about the sales. When you said year 1, 2.1, is that 2024, 2025 estimated? And then part 2 is just give me a glimpse of the type of landlords. Are you talking about large groups that own thousands of properties or individual landlords?
Yeah, sure. So thank you. So essentially, I've not put dates on here because we haven't officially launched, but we're ready to launch because I've been in market validation the last 3 years. That's why at launch we will have revenue kind of straight away. So there's no dates on there, but as soon as we launch, that's when this applies. And in terms of the landlords, yes, we'll be looking at working with developers with hundreds and thousands of units as well, but also some private landlords to get us off the ground and to get started. And those are the ones that we have on our in our waiting list at the moment. They're kind of smaller private portfolio landlords.
Thank you.
Thanks again. Yeah, really enjoyed the presentation. Obviously, I can see it's a really important area and needs to be addressed. I was interested in a comment you made about how you're going to get the people who are going to come onto the platform, because any platform business has this chicken and egg problem.
Yeah.
Both sides. And I was just wondering, if you've got a regional focus, then you've got a national focus, how are you going to make sure you don't spread yourself too thin and not achieve your objectives?
Yeah, very good question. And it's been this chicken and egg situation's been playing on my mind for quite a while. But essentially what we look to do is work with self-managing landlords initially, so that if they're already managing their property and they just want support with finding reliable tenants and their properties close to hospitals, then we'd look to kind of onboard them nationally, because then they're already managing their property as such and they could just use the platform to support them. And then what was the second part of your question? How would we get more? So what we'd look to do is we'd have to balance supply and demand, and not to overpromise the key workers, not to overpromise the landlord. So it is a tricky one. What we'd look to do is build a key worker community where any key workers that are moving on, they'll notify the community that they're moving on. So if they're notifying their landlord or agent through our platform, we can already identify who might be willing to take over or ready to take over that spot. There's lots of international recruitment always happening, and typically staff can't move over until they've got somewhere to live for their visa. So we can almost plug into that system, make it really sticky, and hopefully it's almost helping employers plan their recruitment and workforce planning.
We have time for one more question, Judge.
Well, actually, can I just jump in just again on that one? How are you going to build those communities? Because actually, the B2C side, if I can put it that way, I find it can be very expensive. And I saw you had a bit for marketing in there. I'm just wondering, 50% of your raise is going to be marketing. I'm just wondering how you're going to do that, because that it can be a real money pit.
Yeah, so we will be doing targeted marketing. There are lots of kind of Facebook groups of international medical professionals looking for roles in the UK. So being on their radar and knowing when they're moving over, we'll build that there. It will be an online community, so we hope to kind of encourage people registering straight away. So as soon as they know they need to move, they can put in an accommodation request. And the other way to build the community is I'm an alumni of the NHS Clinical Entrepreneurship Programme. So I've got lots of kind of doctors and other clinicians on this programme. There's thousands of us on there. So in terms of users and anybody renting, I can tap into that.
One more, judges? No? Excellent. I was going to say that. So you said you haven't launched yet. Have you got a date for that? Can we hold you accountable to it?
Yes, I'm going to say within the next 2 to 3 months.
By Christmas, then?
By Christmas, yeah.
Excellent. And was London your first city? Did I miss that?
So Gloucester's my first city.
Gloucester's your first
yeah,
city.
I relocate. My whole HR career was in London, so that's kind of where I got the idea. So I've lived in London for 13 years, but I've relocated to Gloucester, a bit smaller, my hometown. I know some more landlords, so I could get started straight away with market validation. And I'm in Gloucester at the moment.
Hey, so we look forward to highlighting your launch when it comes through before Christmas.
Thank you.
I'll check in on that one. Thank you very much, Katie. So in an amendment to the schedule, thank you, Benjamin, for being so flexible. When you're building a startup, lots of things come to trip you up, so it's one of the key traits. Welcoming Benjamin from Strain Vaults. I will just give you your timings quickly. So you're we're a little bit early, which is rare, 10:26 to 10:31 for, you've got 5 minutes to pitch.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name's Benjamin Felt, and I'm the founder and CEO of StrainVolts Limited. I want to introduce you all to David. David is a researcher working on a novel cancer therapy. He needs bacterial strains to produce an enzyme that will hopefully tear away at the tumorous tissue. So let's see how he gets his bacterial strains. First, he goes to the UK biobanks, and he realizes very quickly that they're 20 plus completely disconnected collections with out-of-date websites. It's nearly impossible to find out if any of these collections have the bacteria he needs. He spends days trawling through these clunky websites, sending emails, waiting weeks for long replies, a month into his allocated research time, and has even bought the bacteria he needs. He tries the international suppliers. He realizes here they charge thousands in import costs and delays of 2 to 3 months to get your bacteria across foreign borders, not to mention the complex paperwork. Worst of all, once he gets the bacteria, post-screening, he realizes that none of them produce the enzyme he needs for his cancer research. A waste of time, money, and valuable experiments. In general, we're seeing 10 to 12 weeks in delays in getting bacteria to researchers, and up to 95% of the bacteria that people are getting is ending up as dead ends in their research. StrainVolts is a next-generation microbial marketplace. We centralize untapped collections all over the UK, in universities, hospitals, and R&D collections that don't have commercial arms to distribute their bacteria. By doing this, we've already partnered with the University of Plymouth, Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine, and ICON, giving us access to over 80,000 strains, and we're just getting started. This is one of the largest collections of microbes in the UK now. By sourcing locally rather than from abroad, we can cut delivery costs by over 5 weeks. But our real key differentiator is our AI genetic analysis engine. Traditionally, it's important to understand that a researcher might go to the biobank, buy 1,000 strains of microbes, each at £300 per strain, go in-house to their research labs and find maybe 2 or 3 strains are useful. A massive waste of money and time spent in the lab. With our engine, we give you 10 AI-powered, high-confidence strains that can produce the characteristic you need for your research. The market size for microbial strains in screening is 7.5 billion. We make our money by licensing out our microbes for research and commercial use. We have standard research licenses which go from £200 to £500 per strain. These are without the use of AI. Companies like the ATCC in the US generate over 177 million annually by doing work like this. However, our AI research licenses, giving you 10 or 15 bacteria with high confidence ratings, we sell for 1 to 10k per strain. We've already received 4 letters of intent from players in human health and agrotech in the UK and the US. The real big ticket opportunities come from our commercial licenses. So when our AI customers transition to a commercial customer, they want to use our bacterial strains in their product. It's common for these deals to be anywhere from 100k to $1 million, with top benchmarks in industry going for 2 strains for 5 million. Now, it's important to understand we only started 5-6 months ago. This idea was on paper 6 months ago, and already today we've achieved 55 grand in grant funding from Innovate UK and Enterprise Solution. We've got one of the largest microbial collections in the UK, 4 letters of intent signed with potential clients, AI proof of concepts going. Our momentum is super strong. By January, our commercial platform will go live, and hopefully 6 months in, our first 60k of revenue will be generated with a clear path to 1 million by year 3. This is the team making it happen. I'm the CEO and founder. I have research experience spreading all the way from Brazil to the UK and startup experience in high growth biotech startups. Dr. Fabio Rodriguez has had over 10 years building ML models, and he's our AI developer. Our core advisor is Matthew Upton, who's one of the leading voices in microbiology and antimicrobial resistance in the UK. Luciano Bueno is our key growth advisor. He's a Forbes 30 under 30, current CEO of a biotech company in the US that just raised a 30 million Series B. We're looking to raise a pre-seed of 500 grand to fund 15 months of operations and growth. Specifically, we need help in our marketing and some core hires. Thank you very much for listening.
Perfect. That was spot on 5 minutes. Perfect timing. Over to the judges.
Great pitch. That was really good. I feel like I learned a lot. I just wanted to understand if there are any problems that you face in the delivery process within the UK, because I know you touched on the death rate and it was 95%. So is that an issue within the UK, or is that just an international issue with delivery?
So the dead end rate
Yeah.
is not about microbes not being delivered correctly. Rather, it's them not being able to produce the characteristics that are needed for the specific research application. For example, a company might need a bacteria that has the ability to produce biogas. So anaerobe, they need specific gas to be produced to turn a turbine. But 95% of the bacteria that they get don't produce it as an efficiency that they need. So with our AI, you get bacteria that will be able to produce it efficiently. We do that without lab testing, only testing on their genomes, their DNA sequences, which is all in silico, so on a computer, so a lot cheaper.
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
Great presentation. You really laid it out how it works and where the need is. Can you just give us a little bit of insight on the regulatory environment? You know what I mean? All of the hurdles that you need to go through, the approvals, certain things may not be able to be shipped, certain things need to be shipped in a certain way, just for us to have a better idea of the complexities as you move forward.
Yeah, primarily the main difficulty comes with a protocol called the Nagoya Protocol, which is a UN protocol, which essentially is a hurdle for foreign countries using bacteria from a different country without getting the government's approval. For example, if I wanted to use a bacteria for a product in the UK, but that bacteria was originally isolated in Senegal, then we have to actually make a contract with the Senegalese government. And these ends up being really complex in their paperwork. In terms of the regulatory issues, they're all quite different depending on our customers. For example, the biofertilizer market is completely different from the skincare market. Our first three target markets include biofertilizers, biomining, and skincare, just because they have easier regulatory pathways. When we want to go to the commercial licenses, at the beginning at least, we're choosing the customers with the shortest path to commerciability, so we can get those big ticket opportunities in quicker.
Thank you. Solid answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, great presentation. I'm really interested in digging down about, correct me if I'm wrong, it seemed there were two really key benefits. One, you could get the bacteria to them faster.
Yes.
Secondly, that because of your AI, you're able to give them better quality ones, the ones that are more likely to be effective and
Yes.
less waste. I'd like to dig down about how you're able to actually deliver things much faster than competitors. What is it about your process that makes that more
So
effective?
one really important concept to understand about the current infrastructure surrounding biotech is that it's really old. All the big players are over 100 years old, literally, and they're steeped in tradition, even in the UK as well. So there's a lot of pathways to go through. One of the biggest barriers to entry in this market is having a big enough diversity in your catalogue to sell to lots of different clients. So that's why we haven't really got new players coming in and speeding up the game. But with our novel way of supplying, i.e. centralising lots of different untapped collections, we've actually built this diversity really quickly. So we're really just a new player in a game that's super old, which is why we can tune things up a little bit.
Thank you.
We can take one more question, judges.
Just on the team, I remember on the team slide you have 3 on the team and 3 advisors. Can you just give me a glimpse of, are these 3 full-time right now? Because I know you've just started 5 months ago, and then how that's going to evolve.
Yeah, so so myself, Fabio Rodriguez, and Shirin are all full-time at the moment. However, Dr. Fabio Rodriguez and Shirin are not part of the founding team. I'm looking to build. I'm a solo founder looking for a co-founder as well. Over the next 6 months, we're really looking to build into our sales team. Our product and prototype is right around the corner from being complete, but we would love some more experience in that area. If anyone has any opportunities there, that would be great. In terms of our advisors, I actually work out of a lab in University of Plymouth at the moment, so I'm with Matthew Upton nearly every week. So we have face-to-face contact all the time.
Thank you, and good that you're looking for a co-founder, because a lot of institutional investors see that as an important part.
Yeah, I completely understand, and it's very difficult finding the right person, but I'm sure that they're just around the corner.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Then, as we close, we've got 30 seconds left, but great round of applause if you want to add anything. But can I quickly ask, that £60,000 in your first 6 months, who's that's coming from? Who do you expect it to come from?
So that's coming from 2 specific letters of intent we've got. I can't dive into them too much, but they're specifically in the biofertilizer market, and they're looking for new strains of bacteria to help build up the efficacy in terms or the strength of their fertilizers in different environments. So colder environments and hotter environments, sometimes the strains in there wouldn't work at the same efficiency, but with new bacterial strains, they might be able to.
Anything that you'd like to add as a parting comment for the audience?
No, I think that's okay. I think I've added everything I've looked to. So thank you very much.
Fabulous pitch. Thank you very much, Benjamin.
Hi, I'm Chantal Siderick, and I'm an award-winning personal stylist and founder of Stribe. This is me, and I'm channeling my inner Moana. Some might say that I found my style from a really early age. When I was 3 months old, I was adopted from Indonesia, and when I was 3, we moved to Devon. Growing up in Devon was different for me because I was always told to celebrate my individuality, be proud of my cultural heritage, and embrace who I am. So I had to find my own identity, and I used fashion to really find my confidence and to show my personality. So image matters. When we look good, we feel good. And 96% of women believe that what they wear affects how confident they feel, and I know firsthand that this makes a huge impact. The average woman also spends nearly a year of her life getting dressed. Can you relate to this? Because I know I can. And the average online purchase takes around 3 hours from deciding what you need to actually what you buy. So our solution is Stribe, an AI-powered digital wardrobe for career-driven women. Stribe digitizes your wardrobe. It generates outfits based upon your existing clothes, your body shape, your mood, the occasion, and also the weather, and suggests pre-loved pieces to complete your look. So I'd love to walk you through the user journey in 3 easy steps. So stage 1 is just taking 10 photos of clothing that you like from your existing wardrobe. Once these have been taken, you will be asked a series of questions all around your body shape, how you're feeling that day, your daily event, and even the weather. The AI will generate outfits using your existing wardrobe, but will also recommend the exact items from pre-loved platforms using styling rules to create new and exciting looks for different occasions. The business model is really simple. We've got a freemium option, and once users have taken those photos, you'll be able to have access to 1 outfit per month with supported ads. With the premium option, we want to really integrate a pre-loved platform. We want to focus on enhanced personalization, price comparison. We want to save the user time, and we want to ensure that they buy genuine, authentic pieces from 5-star sellers. Our target market is career-driven women aged 30 to 65 because I know at this stage of life brings the biggest shifts and challenges. And with over 20 years of styling experience, working with thousands of women in this age group, I know firsthand the challenges they face. We're also going to be targeting B2B customers, including pre-loved platforms and corporate organizations. There is competition out there, but none focus predominantly on reusing, restyling, and repurposing women's existing wardrobes, or integrate pre-loved platforms for a more sustainable approach. So why Stripe? We have 20 years of styling expertise and have built up a trusted brand. Our empathetic AI styling doesn't just style outfits, it solves real-life problems, reduces stress, and empowers confidence. We will introduce a seamless integration with pre-loved platforms and continue to provide live support. We also want to introduce a social element impact where corporate companies will pay it forward to SmartWorks clients, helping women to get dressed, coached for interview, and back to work. So we've had early traction already. We've secured an Innovate UK grant, and in March we launched our Style Club, which is the first phase of Stripe. We have investor interest already, and SEIS approval is in progress, so it's really exciting. We have a fantastic advisory team, and to help us scale, we're looking for a talented CTO to help us develop an MVP. We also want to bring in a head of sales and marketing team member to help us implement that solid marketing strategy. And we're asking for £250,000 to allow us to make those important key hires so that we can start testing it with aligned stakeholders. Thank you so much.
Perfect timing, as we've come to expect today. Over to the judges for questions.
Great pitch, thank you. My question is around the process. So you say that the user has to upload 10 photos. I guess I want to understand how you entice them to do this, because people can be really indecisive and might get stressed out, same way as trying to decide what clothes to buy.
Sure. So what I would recommend is that they upload pieces that make them feel good, perhaps things that they're not sure how to style themselves. And actually, you know, having worked in person with so many people, we all have these items that we have bought, we haven't worn, but really encourage them to think about those pieces that really make them feel good and really make them feel confident.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that. I think this is also useful for men, because I always think of what am I going to wear and compare that to the weather and things like that. So my question is just around, I think one of the slides you mentioned your 20 years experience. Can you reconcile that with the startup of this entity, and then how that goes together?
Yeah, sure. So I've been working with men and women for 20 years. Post-COVID, it was really interesting times. So I was working mostly in person with clients, and I would say now I'm working sort of 70% with them online, 30% in person. So it's been a massive shift. And I think people have really kind of considered what they have had in their wardrobes that they haven't worn. And I know that they have so many, you know, there's like £30 billion worth of clothes piling up in people's wardrobes. And actually, you know, you don't have to go out and buy new. I feel like there's so much in people's wardrobes that they can utilise. And I guess that's where I'm coming from.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks again for the pitch. Really enjoyed it. Obviously, yeah, I probably could do with some of this support, but maybe that's phase 3 or 4 or something. But, I was kind of interested in how, obviously, with a lot of these businesses, it's going to be scale is going to be so important for you. And just going back to the issue about, well, how do you get people to actually take the photos, but how do you get them to even know about you and actually see the difference that you're making? How is your marketing strategy going to be able to achieve that for you?
Yeah, so far we've had lots of organic growth through social media. And current clients and word of mouth, and I think actually, it's you know, relating that message of, you know, we can help you, you know, really utilise your wardrobe and help you to feel more confident moving forward. And I think, you know, certainly for women, we go through so many different stages of our lives. We sort of need to change. We want to change. And it's a mindset thing, isn't it? So we kind of need to get dressed for different stages of our lives. Yeah.
We have time for one more question, judges, if you want to.
Just jumping on to what we just said. I didn't see it, maybe I just missed it. What's your sort of sales growth plan? Where are you seeing you going in the next 2-3 years?
Sure. So at the moment, obviously year one, we've launched the Style membership. In year one, we're hoping to achieve 775 members. And we're also hoping to, that's sort of individual users, if you like, but we're also looking to gain corporate partnerships where they can buy licenses and sort of then, we can help dress their workforce, if you like. So turnover on that is 36,000. And then in year two, in year one, we would look to develop the AI-powered app alongside that. But in year two, we would be looking for 8,500 members with a turnover of 156,000. And in year three, we would hope to achieve around about 68,000 members with an annual turnover of about 650,000.
Thank you very much.
Fabulous. Do you want to add anything else in your last 30 seconds that you might not have included?
No, I'd just like to say that, the opportunity is huge because the styling app market in 2024 is valued at $110 billion, and in 2033, it's predicted to be worth around about 259 billion. And so there's a huge opportunity to kind of scale globally. And looking at the pre-loved marketplaces, in Vinted there are 80 million users. Depop is 44 million. And so I do feel it's a growing market there. And people are becoming more sustainable in their approach to buying clothes.
Thank you, Chantal. That was a great closing remark. Thank you very much for pitching. And as your target market, who's wearing black trousers and white trainers and has paid for a service like this before, to out myself, I'd be really interested in talking to you afterwards. I was that post-COVID clear your wardrobe out phase. So next up, exactly on time, thank you, is Phoebe from Surgists. Have I said that right?
Yes, correct.
Fabulous. So 5 minutes to pitch and 6 minutes for questions.
I'm going to start with a question. Have you ever signed a medical form without fully understanding what you're signing? Don't worry, you're not alone. 43% of patients do this every day, make life-changing decisions completely in the dark. Why? There's a few reasons. Notably, procedural anxiety is high. Therefore, there is a lack of retention of information for those patients. Language barriers are significantly large. In fact, a recent paper came out to show that 1 in 10 patients referred to the NHS do not have English language skills. Medical terminology is complex. There's lots of jargon. It can be intimidating. And pain and discomfort can mean that the patient wants to get the procedure done and rush and therefore not look at the information correctly. These are the current tools on the market. Leaflets, which are made by certified boards and handed out to the NHS and private hospitals. However, these have an average reading age of an 18-year-old. Verbal communication, which is often great, however, it's not standardized. It can be biased because medical professionals may think that something that is not important to you doesn't need to be said, and you may think that that's extremely important for your quality of life. Online resources, as you know, there's a vast majority with the way that the digital world is progressing. However, a recent study showed that out of 150 prostate cancer YouTube videos, 77% of that information was incorrect. This leads to medical legal issues and patient dissatisfaction. As you can see here, the NHS spent $2.6 billion settling medical negligence claims from 2022 to 2023. So what's the solution? Surgists. This is the first and only virtual reality tool on the market. Here you can see, on the end is your professional dashboard, which the clinician will use to track, manage, and see the progress of their patients. In the middle, you can see a patient at home. Here, they're able to view the procedure, the steps, and the risks and complications in approximately 3 to 4 minutes, depending on the procedure. Then on the end, you can see the patient is in the clinic with a headset. This can be Meta. It's compatible with all headsets on the market, and they are here watching it in this virtual immersive environment. I can also show you both of these in the Venture Village in a moment. What's so great about this is that the patient is immersed into that environment. They're able to see life-size anatomy and understand the size of the instrument that may be used in relevance to their organs. They're also able to understand the surgery they're going through and whether they would like to go through with that or maybe choose something different. I'm Phoebe Reynolds. I founded the company 2 years ago, but started this a year ago. I pivoted significantly, but it was always a medical company. Surgassist was also awarded for the NHS Sustainability Awards. We have 4 procedures at the moment. We are looking to develop further so that we have a full suite of urology procedures. I'm working with Southampton University. We have conducted lots of research. We have a paper in the World Journal of Urology, Asian Endo-Urology Journal, and others. We've also got a significant amount of abstracts being presented by different medical professionals across the world, and we will have a significant amount next year. These are some of the current organisations that have supported the journey so far. I'm very thankful. We'll be looking to raise funds next year. Currently, we're bootstrapped, and we are looking for philanthropists who would like to hopefully give some money towards developing those procedures, as we're all patients in this room, and we all know how hard it is and how much you want to understand what's going to happen. Thank you.
Perfect timing, Phoebe. Over to the judges.
Hi, Phoebe. Thank you very much for your presentation. Very clear what you're trying to achieve. My question is around, so who's your target market for this, and how are you going to make money?
So the target market is patients, so NHS, private. We're currently we have negotiations going on with certified boards, particularly in urology. We're looking at getting this as a certified information guide. Once that happens, I would like to offer this as free to use for the NHS and private, maybe at a very low subscription cost, depending on the negotiations that I'm currently going through. And then I also have negotiations going on in America and Dubai. These would be at a cost. However, I cannot disclose that information at this time.
Thank you. Just if you can, I guess, building on the prior question, just explain the sales process, who you're speaking to in the process, how you're going to pitch it to them, and then any regulatory legal hurdles that you need to get over to make sure that you close this and then you're secure once it's done.
Of course. So I actually have worked in medtech for 7 years, and I work within my family business, who are medical distributors. So I have a large network of clinicians. I work with them daily and currently utilize that network to get the headsets and the virtual reality on the phone into hospitals. So we've got different hospitals over the UK using it at the moment and collecting data. We have 4 different clinical trials that have happened, and we have 2 ongoing at the moment in Southampton University Hospital.
Thank you.
Great pitch. I like that you put in lots of insights on what you've achieved so far. I think that's really important. My question is around the pivot. So I wanted to learn what insights led you to that shift and why.
So I actually started in thoracic surgery. I partnered with a company in the Netherlands, and we were putting 3D models over the patient during the surgery. So we were able to differentiate between veins and arteries, which is a big issue when it comes to thoracics, which is the lungs. And it went really well, but in that time, because I was bootstrapping, other competitors had entered the market. So Johnson's & Johnson's, Medtronic, all these large companies that that have been around for a long time brought out their own versions. I was always working on this in the background, but I decided then to pivot and fully go in with this because it is in all the research. And I was at a conference last week. I go to a few conferences every month with the other work, and it's just the topic. It's everything that's being spoken about at the moment. So it became vital to progress with this instead.
Great, thank you.
We have time, judges, for another question.
Phoebe, obviously you mentioned a little bit about your own background. What's the team looking like around you?
It's just myself at the moment. So I'm the sole founder, and I have teams that I outsource and have specific contracts with so that we work together. I am looking to build a team early next year. However, the negotiations I'm going through at the moment may mean that there may be some opportunity there. However, when I look to build the team next year, this will be when I'm raising the funding to scale the operation. However, I think it's really important to get it right first, get all the feedback, get it into the hospitals, certified, and then take it to that next level.
Thank you, Phoebe. Do you have anything else you'd like to add before?
No, just if you'd like to have a look at either on the phone and when I say on the phone, it's large in front of you, or in the headset, then please come and have a look after. I will be sticking around. Thank you.
Thank you. And then just to follow on from Nick's question then, in terms of the professional medical advice that you're getting in building this, is that coming from your network? Have you got anyone who's sort of attached themselves to being your formal advisor in that space?
Yes, so I have a few professors in surgery that I'm working with. I've collaborated with Professor Bhaskar Samani, who's a world-renowned urological surgeon, and we are building the platform. He is the medical expert behind it. He's leading the research and writing checking the content, writing it, and making sure that everything is as it should be.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm attached to a microphone somewhere. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Phoebe. We are running swiftly through, so I'm going to welcome Bianca and Laura up from Wellness on Tap.
Hi, Slush'D Cornwall. I'm Bianca. This is Laura. We are Wellness on Tap. We met each other outside our daughter's forest school nursery about 5 years ago and bonded instantly over raising fiercely strong-willed little girls and over our shared need for wellness here in Cornwall to survive it.
So I was really craving a half-day yoga retreat, something with some movement, some food, maybe some journaling. My cup was half empty and I really needed to fill it up. I thought Google or maybe AI could help me. But after an hour of trawling through the internet, through yoga studio websites and Instagram accounts, I came up empty-handed and deflated. So I gave up. And for someone like myself with over a decade of marketing experience, I found this extremely frustrating, that I knew that there would be something out there, but I couldn't find it.
At the same time, I was working at one of Cornwall's top retreat venues where I'd helped over 100 practitioners bring their event to life. And I kept hearing the same frustrations, but from the other side. I'm struggling to sell spaces, I'm struggling to reach new audiences and cut through the noise.
So we started an Instagram account that creates all the wellness events that are happening in Cornwall. It's grown fast, and in the last 30 days, we've had 63,000 views. Now our inbox is inundated by practitioners wanting us to promote their events. So it proves that there's a demand. Right now, if you want wellness in Cornwall, you're lost in endless searching, Eventbrite, random Instagram posts, Facebook groups, Google results. It's fragmented and it's exhausting. And for practitioners, it's a nightmare. They're so incredible at what they do, but they waste time and money trying to hack algorithms, and it's just not sustainable. So our solution is Wellness on Tap, a beautiful, simple platform, website now, app later. Think of it like the Airbnb, but for wellness experiences. You'll be able to find what you need, when and where you need it, and book it instantly. From sunrise yoga on the beach in St Ives to a full moon cacao ceremony in Devon. And for practitioners, it's a single space to list, sell, and promote services without fighting social media. Our MVP will have an interactive map, and you'll be able to search by location, date, or activity type, and book directly through the site. And that's the foundation. But the vision goes so much further.
So the global wellness tourism market is set to hit over $1 trillion by 2027. It's not niche. Lockdowns drove at-home wellness, but now people are craving real in-person experiences. Retreats, saunas, community, festivals, that's where the growth is. And Cornwall is already shifting. A decade ago, New Quay was stag doos and sticky nightclub floors. Today, you can't swing a Hessian tote without hitting a yoga practitioner or a sauna owner. Our USP is clear. We're hyperlocal and authentic, starting in Cornwall and Devon. We're curated, real human beings behind the listings, telling practitioner stories. It's full spectrum, physical, mental, creative, and food wellness. And crucially, it's community and tourism integrated. We bridge visitors, tourists, locals, and practitioners like nobody else, and we give quality assurance. There's also a huge potential for partnerships. We've been talking with the head of the NHS Social Prescribing Unit here in New Quay, and they say that they would love a service like this. At the minute, they're working with scattered inboxes. We could streamline what they're doing. So how do we make money? 4 main streams. So who else is out there? Who else is out there? Eventbrite is noisy and unfocused. ClassPass and MindBody are gym-centric and city-centric. And Instagram is scattered and unreliable. Our USP is clear. So how do we make money? 4 main streams. 10% on booking commissions, paid listings and advertising, product shop commissions, and from year 3 online, courses and corporate retreats. Year 1 is about building the platform and traction. Year 2 is national expansion. And year 3, courses and retreats will take us to projected revenues of 500,000. We're seeking 250,000 to fund a scalable website and app, plus marketing and growth, giving us the runway to expand nationally in 24 months. The upside is the UK wellness tourism market was worth 21 billion in 2023, and it's growing at 8% per year. Wellness travellers spend 40 to 50% more than regular leisure tourists, and Cornwall alone gets 5 million visitors a year, and a growing share are looking for exactly what we're offering. We started with a personal frustration. We're building a community, and with your investment and your help, we'll make Wellness on Tap the UK's go-to platform for wellness experiences, supporting practitioners, empowering communities, and making wellness accessible for everyone.
Thank you very much. Perfect ending. Over to the judges. I think we could do with some of this today after all these pictures.
Great pitch. I think it's a really good idea. I've seen firsthand that people are very into wellness retreats at the moment, especially in London. My question is, you have a plan to partner with your competitors. What's your strategy for that, and why do you think that they will partner with you?
We're not planning really to partner with competitors as such. I think eventually it would be looking to be acquired by a competitor. At the minute, we do definitely have competitors in the scene. There's obviously Airbnb, Eventbrite, and ClassPass. They're all actively working in this spot, but we've been tracking them a lot, and they're just not nailing it. We've been looking at Airbnb, and this month alone for experiences, they've got 1 yoga class that they're offering in Cornwall, and the same as across Devon. They're just not hitting that wellness market, and I think their commission is too high, and they don't have anyone on the ground going and meeting with the communities. So you would be putting your event up there with the knowledge that you're probably not going to be able to get hold of anyone to help you. You're not getting help with the marketing, whereas Laura and I are making this platform it's so great for people because they're not great at marketing themselves, and they'll send us their information and we'll package it together nicely and promote them. So it feels like that stress is taken off their hands. Eventually what we'd like is to build it into something that someone like Airbnb or ClassPass would bring on and acquire, because we've done it so well and it's fitting something that they're not quite able to do because they're so big.
Great. And so do you see this as a regional issue throughout the UK then?
Absolutely, yeah. Cornwall's a really good test bed because it's so tourism heavy and there's a huge booming wellness scene down here. It's a nice small, over 500,000 people living here, but it is a nice test bed. And already we've got over 450 practitioners, locations, chefs, people within that wellness sphere who are following us, actively getting into our inbox, asking us to promote their events. I think it's about 15,000 yoga practitioners alone in the UK. So if we extrapolate that out, and we've already had messages from facilitators in Devon asking us to start in Devon, and that's kind of where we've already moved into. So we're slowly spreading out, and we can hit those hotspots as well, because the facilitators that we're talking to, they already have networks themselves throughout all the different counties, because they go up to Brighton to go and run retreats. They're up in Scotland doing sauna ceremonies and things. So we've kind of got the distribution built in. We're just waiting to, scale and get some more team behind us to be able to service it.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. I also reiterate that it's a good space to be in. I'm glad there was a shout out for St. Ives on the beach. I think that's Lucy. I've been to that class, so it's very good. On a channels question, you mentioned the NHS, which I think is a great channel to get into, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the NHS has been prescribing, going out to National Trust parks and these type of things. So if you can elaborate a little bit on what your thoughts are about that and how you're going to move forward.
Sure, that's why the platform's so great, because Laura and I are both sides of the users. We would use it ourselves to search for things, but also we're practitioners. So Laura's a coach and I'm a forest bathing practitioner. And I had got into social prescribing and going to all the units to go and try and give my services. And it was impossible because none of them work in synergy. They're all separate from each other. And when I was speaking to them, they were like, oh, this is great, and I'll take all your information. But then it was almost like, well, we'll put that in a drawer because that's where we store that information. And then just if someone happens to say something, then it might trigger something and they'll pull out your pamphlet. But there's no database that they can go to check who are the NHS the prescribers that have been ticked off, and who are the people that actually have funding to provide services for people. So in this way, they could really just give the website over to the people who are coming to them. And Cornwall's really hot on social prescribing. It's one of the counties that's really using it, and across the border is growing more and more because it's a service that can really take that burden off the NHS who are struggling.
Yeah, thank you. Great pitch. What I'm really interested in actually is just because of my background and working with digital marketing, SEO, and all those kinds of things, is the changes that are going to be coming regarding things like ChatGPT and Answer Engine, where people are actually typing in questions into something like ChatGPT and getting an answer and never visit a website. And I wonder whether you've actually given any thought to that as part of your marketing strategy in the years to come.
Yeah, we haven't really spoken much about ChatGPT other than we know it's obviously a massive threat for a lot of people working in marketing and brands, because there's that fear that it could take over and have a lot of false information. And what we feel is really unique about this is that it's a user experience, and we feel that that's why we've done so well so far, is because we're out every day meeting the practitioners, experiencing their classes, and that's a model that we would like to roll out. So in terms of the marketing channels, we have two clear audiences. One's the wellness seeker, so that would all be about brand awareness, and we have some ideas like having lead magnets, giving out PDFs, so a wellness guide to Cornwall, and we can partner with hotels and the airport and local facilitators, so it's really unique. It's not something that AI could just generate because it's based on user experience. And then I think for the practitioners, again, it's about building a community, hosting events and working with these people and having wellness awards. I mean, there's no wellness awards in the Southwest. I mean, I could think of hundreds of people that would love to enter a wellness award. So I think that what's unique about this is that it's a user experience, and we can use AI to help us with information, but it's not going to take over.
And I think as well, just on that, we've tried to use AI to find things here, and it can't pull out the information because people are working across so many little platforms like Instagram where it won't pull their events out of. So we've put into AI lots of times, what's happening this weekend, like in saunas, what's happening this weekend here, and it can't pull the information. It'll pull 3 really big events that are happening, a festival somewhere where there's a sauna, and that's gone out across a big website, but it's definitely not pulling those smaller practitioners who don't have visibility across some of the, bigger platforms.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Bianca and Laura. I don't know if you know my fun fact, because I forgot to introduce myself earlier, but I launched Airbnb Experiences in Cornwall and Devon back in 2018. So I'll introduce the story behind that later. Obviously, COVID had a massive impact, and they've just relaunched again this year. It's actually how I ended up living in Newquay. Was I came down to Cornwall. I met all the amazing people running events, experiences, and other things in Cornwall, and thought, this is where my people are, so I need to be here. So yes, Airbnb Experiences and experience hosts are the people that brought me here in the first place. Thank you very much. I've got one final pitch for you today, and then we will be closing for lunch from 12 till 1, so you haven't got long left to go. And it's definitely a last but not least. So we have Fifi from Butterfly Wellness.
Morning, everyone. So glad to be here. Just to start, I love a show of hands if anyone in this room has ever had acne, psoriasis, or eczema. I can see a few hands. So yeah, I'm not alone then. I'm talking to people that understand the stress, the anxiety, and just the lack of confidence that can come with a skin condition. And all over the world, there are about 1 billion people that have different problems with their skin. About 60% of eczema patients experience stress and anxiety, and that's something that really causes flare-ups. When I moved to the UK in 2018, I was late. I was really late, and I was studying engineering. I was scared. I was away from my family, and my skin was the first to react. I came from Nigeria, predominantly hot, to a very cold country, and I would wake up with bumps, itches, sores. It was horrible. As an 18-year-old, I don't wish that on anyone, and that really impacted my confidence, and my anxiety shot up. I loved swimming, stopped swimming, thought everyone was staring at my skin. So basically, I found that I didn't want this to ruin my life. And I've seen a problem because when I started using creams and serums, it just didn't work, because traditional skincare always just treats the surface. They never treat the stress, they never treat the anxiety that comes with different conditions. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to bridge the gap between mental health and skin health. What does this problem cause for traditional skincare? It means when you stop using their creams, you use something else, your skin condition gets worse. Or when you decide to, use another cream, it doesn't work, and then the cycle just continues. Personally, if you're going into Boots, you're going to Savers, it's, not just the creams. There's lifestyle choices, there's sleep, there's nutrition that makes everything come together, and that's holistic lifestyle. So what I've tried to do is to build Shama. So Shama is an AI-powered tool for traditional skincare providers. That's your dermatology clinics, that's your aesthetic clinics, and that's your everyday skincare, your body wash, your creams. But what we want Shama to do is we want it to be so intelligent that it uses emotion, it uses touch detection to measure your emotions. So it's non-intrusive, because as you're scrolling on TikTok, Facebook, anything on your screens, it's really analyzing how you're feeling in that moment, and combined with images, it's able to give you a holistic view of your mind and skin health. Just like ChatGPT, but going a bit further than that. And because there's so many people all over the world, there needs to be accessibility, there needs to be affordability. Psychodermatology is under-tackled, is under-researched, and if we look at places like Africa where there's neglected tropical diseases, there's so much lack of access to psychodermatology. It's a game changer for wellness providers, because when they know that you're using the creams, you're sticking to the routines, they're going to make more money because they know you're less likely to go on to another brand. It's going to help with their engagement and overall their profits. Everyone wants lifestyle solutions. All over the world, people are looking for things that are not just one-sided. They want everything solved at the same time. But this is a problem that hasn't been solved properly by the traditional skincare market. It's a growing market, growing at a pace about 11% every single year. So far, we've been bootstrapped. Just have about £7,000 for just a few years ago. We've won the Global Recognition Awards in Healthcare Innovation, as well as Santander X. So far, Shama 1.0 was designed alongside University of Surrey students, and we're also going to be co-creating with the world's only research institution dedicated to appearance. So that's the UE, Center for Appearance Research. How we're going to be making money is through subscriptions ranging from £250 per year to £1,250, 5 to 10% on any product sold by our partners on the platform, and licensing, useful data for research and for innovation, because it's stuff that could be very, very useful in the future, to bring the future of wellness closer. So that can range from anything from £5,000 to £10,000, as well as training estheticians, training, the mental health specialists, training dermatologists on what is so important, the mind-skin connection. So far, we've had strong relationships with the London Medical School Anaesthetic Clinic. So this is how we've been able to reach up to 12,000 users without any active, marketing outreach, as well as talking to QV Skincare, which is a sensitive skincare brand headquartered in Australia, and also a brand called Skin Eye, which focuses on eczema for children. So combined, the pipeline with these three companies would be about £100,000 in the next year. There's no one that's doing what we're doing at the moment. It's very hard combining emotion detection with skin analytics. It's under-researched, and it hasn't been done before, but we're going to do it. The overall plan for us is to exit. We've got our eyes set up on health insurance or big pharma that have a really strong dermatology portfolio, like Pfizer, AbbVie, or wellness group like L'Oreal, which have access to billions of consumers all over the world. In order to reach the NHS, we have to be a medical device, so we also be looking forward to have that. This is our plan for growth, and altogether I've been supported by an amazing team with combined experience for about 30 years, both in psychodermatology, launching and scaling brands, and exiting the market. So far we're going to be raising, we've raised 7,000 and we want to be raising £250,000. We've got SCIS available at the moment, and most of it would be going further into the development of Shama. Thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate your time. Happy to answer any of your questions.
Thank you, Fifi. Over to the judges for their questions.
Thank you, Fifi, very much. Yeah, really super interesting. It's an area I've not really even thought about, actually, but it's that mind-body connection and all that kind of super important.
Yeah.
Could you just give me a bit more detail about how you make money? What's your business model?
So primarily at the moment we've only have pilots. We are running pilots with QV skincare, with Skin Akin and London Medical School for London Medical School Anesthetic Clinic. So it's started a few months ago. It's a 3-month sort of free trial. This is why we have that number, because they have access to the audience we want to reach, which are the people that have the acne, they have eczema, they've got psoriasis. We are B2B primarily, so we want to be selling to businesses because it's just more scalable as opposed to going out for individuals. The competition is so high, people want to be, do you want to use ChatGPT? But if we're selling to the brands, they're getting vital data from their users on how they're using, the products, emotions, what they're interested in. There could be vital information on other things that their consumers would be interested in that they're not getting at the moment. So B2B subscriptions, would be really driving most of our revenue.
Thank you. Thank you for that. There's definitely a need, and there's more and more awareness of, the whole mental aspect and the mind aspect. Even magazines like Men's Health and things like that now have completely dedicated sections to mental awareness and these things.
Yeah.
So within the offering that you're going to have, and you're going to have this B2B offering, you've mentioned some potential, let's say, clients or products or services that you'll be offering. How will you balance that with the overall ecosystem of some solutions that may be home remedies and things like that? So will you have a holistic approach and a holistic solution offered to people who will be using the site?
Yeah, so it's really two-sided. We really want to focus on that B2B access, which is like selling directly to businesses, but there's nothing to say that in the near future we can't also accommodate customers. Well, the wellness market is absolutely huge, and I know I really focused on these three areas, but I'm not even adding the health coaches, wellness coaches. I'm not adding the gyms. I'm not adding holistic and therapists and people that practice and would need access to those people that may have the same problems. It's a huge ecosystem. So for us, we really want to start from a particular segment, and then in the near future, when we've got a bit more market share, when the awareness has really grown, then we can start looking at those other target segments. We've chosen this really because in terms of profitability and sustainability, these are sort of the bigger elephants to catch.
Well done. That's the right way to do it. Just focus on that and don't get pulled into other directions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great pitch. My question kind of ties into their questions too. I just wanted to understand what your beachhead market looks like and how you plan on acquiring it.
Which one?
Your beachhead market. So your highest value target market segment.
Yeah, so it would be in the moment in the UK, because we want to start nationally in the UK. So it would be the eczema market. In the UK alone, it's worth more than about £200 million, because there's lots of people that have the condition of all ages. It's steadily growing. Due to different reasons, allergy, environmental, genetics. So we know that's going to be one of the highest areas specifically. There's lots of research going into it. Pharma is pouring a lot of money into it to be able to develop for the brand. So we know eczema is one of the biggest, we'd see. And then acne is the second one, but eczema would be the main focus.
Great, and then just touching onto that, how do you plan on acquiring them?
Well, in terms of actual acquisition, we think distribution would be the most important, and that's one of the reasons why we're going, with private dermatologists. As a founder, when I started, I was like, NHS is the first way, to go. But I've been humbled a bit because with the NHS, there's so much regulation that needs to go into the product, which is why we need to be, certified. So we want to go private first, and in the future, when we have that medical device certification, be more scalable and actually work with the NHS. We've got an NHS dermatologist on board, so we've got the knowledge about that.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fifi. Well, it's very challenging to get off those cinema seats really quickly. I guess that's the whole point, isn't it? They want you to stay and settle in for the ride. So I'm really glad that you all did stay and settle in for the ride for our pitches today. Thank you for your support for the 9 amazing pitches we had today. They were exceptional, really, really high quality. You can all breathe now and you can get some lunch. Please go and see our pitches in the Venture Village. So we have 16 startups, 9 of whom you've seen pitch today, but another 7 who are out there as well. Presenting in the Venture Village, you'll be able to see the demos of their products, to see what they're doing in real life, and to maybe talk to them about either connections that you have, money you have to distribute if you're an investor, so please do go if that's your role here today, or any people that you might be able to connect them to who can help them accelerate their business growth journey, mentors, advisors, staff members, practitioners, NHS bodies. There's all sorts of health and wellness we've seen here today, so anyone in that space, please do go and see our startups today. We will be announcing the winner after the closing keynote this afternoon at 5:15. Our judges have a very quick deliberation over lunch to go and decide on the winner of the pitch competition today. I think they're going to have an incredibly difficult decision. So I'm glad I'm not in your shoes today. So a huge thank you to our judges, Nick, Magellan and Bethany. Thank you for being here today. An enormous thank you to our prize donators, to Morel Associates for their gift of £1,000 worth of legal support for the startups. As you can see, I mean, even going through SEIS and EIS assurance, that requires legal support. There's loads that comes with building your startups, the NDAs that it sounds like a lot of you have signed. You need legal advice for all of these other things, protecting your IP. So legal support is highly valuable for people in this stage of the business. So thank you very much. And Tech Cornwall for 2 tickets to Slush for our winners. So we'll see you in Helsinki for those who win today, and also a free Tech Cornwall membership for the next year, which gets you access to lots of support, professional development and technical skills training. So could all the judges and those pitching join me on stage for a photo in 1 minute? So everyone who's pitched hopefully is here today, is here now. If not, we will find you. So a massive final round of applause to Michael, Fifi, Guy, Joe, Luke, Katie, Ben, Chantel, Phoebe, Laura and Bianca for their pitches today. It was really great to see you. So amazing subjects covered today from so many elements of the startup to scale up journey. We've had founders, we've had productors. I still haven't created the word for Tor yet that works for that. We've had peoplers from Dickon. We've talked a lot about AI. AI has come into every conversation we've had. It's not going anywhere, and it is changing the way we do things. So it's important to stay afloat and abreast of that. And we've talked funding. So we've covered a lot today. What am I doing first? We're doing the pitch competition announcement, so I just need to make sure that everyone is here that needs to be here. So as you heard this morning, we had 9 tech startups passionately pitching to our expert judging panel, and we're hoping this slide doesn't transition too quickly so that they can introduce to you their summary of the pitch competition and a bit of an explanation as to why they chose the winner today. So the judges have deliberated and will be announcing the winner of the pitch competition. So I'd like to welcome them to the stage. So Bethany, Magellan and Nick. I'm not sure who specifically is going to announce. I'm hoping we have all of our startups here today who pitched as well. So can I do a quick show of hands for Michael, Calver, yes, Fifi, brilliant, Guy, yeah, Joe and Luke, fab, Katie, I saw in the corner, no? Oh no, I saw you waving at me there, that's it. Benjamin, fab, Chantel, oh yeah, so the light is blinding me here. Phoebe, fab, and Bianca and Laura, here we go. An enormous congratulations for pitching. For some of you, I heard it was your first proper formal pitch. So massive congratulations for doing it to such an amazing audience today. And I'm going to be bringing one of the judges up. So as we've heard earlier, your competition prize, 2 tickets to Slush in Helsinki, £1,000 worth of legal support from Murrells, and a year's membership to Tech Cornwall. We also hopefully have a trophy. If you can use the lectern mic, that would be much appreciated.
Well, thank you, everybody. No, very exciting moment for us, really. I think we can say that the pitching competition this year has been really, really excellent. I had the opportunity to actually judge last year, and the standard this year is super high. And not only are the presentations really high, they represent really quality businesses and startups, which I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they progress in the future. And I love the fact that we had the kind of twin themes across the board of wellness and health and creativity mixed together. Very exciting. Did you want to say a few words?
Perfect. Just building on what Nick said, it was a pleasure to be here. Just so everyone knows that we obviously took it seriously. We had a checklist. I sit on multiple investment committees, so we went through the same criteria you would go on an investment committee, looking at the size of the market, looking at the competition, looking at if it's prop tech, looking at how the team is set up, and you try to build that into the questions. So I just wanted to say that. I think everyone did a great job. I wanted to use a quote from the Jerry Maguire movie is, "You had us at hello." So, very good job coming in. You were all very mature, very confident, and I'm sure all of you will go very well. So I'll pass it now on to Bethany to announce the winner.
So this was a very tough decision, but the winner today is Strain Volts.
Thank you, guys. That was unexpected. So I literally had the idea for this company fresh out of uni, really. Started it 6 months ago. So to be here is pretty wild. I suppose probably the lasting comment would be that bacterial innovations, they're part of your vaccines, they're part of your cleaning products, they literally affect your day-to-day lives. They're not just some abstract corner of science. So the fact that we can really speed up these innovations in these sectors is going to be something really fiscal in your lives. So cool. Thanks guys.